Well, welcome back to my studio and Happy New Year. I have been working on some surprise commissions, so I've not been blogging for a few days, but I'm back. So anyway, and this piece is also a commission, and I apologize. Sometimes I get so excited about getting to painting that I forget what I'm doing, and I got started on this wall, and then I thought, oh my goodness, I was going to do a video on this. So we're coming into the middle of the wall, but I'll be able to do enough of it that you'll see. This painting is done on a gallery wrap canvas. You can see that the painted image goes around to the side of the canvas. And this is going to be a stone wall. And my mixtures are my mud, which is 2 parts of French ultramarine blue plus 1 part of alizarin crimson. And then I have added some cadmium orange and also a little bit of cadmium yellow medium and then some white into that mixture. And right now I'm just scumbling up a bunch of color up there. I've made several different mixtures that are all the same mixture. Some have more white, some have more of the mud, but it gives me variations of shades of that same color. And this again is my basic Adobe color. I use this for my Santa Fe buildings, and then I use it, this is Tuscany, and so we have that same Adobe color, but it's going to be a stone wall. Now on this wall, these walls come together like this, and in this corner, since this is the wall that's going back, I'm making the part of the wall that's going into the corner bluer. That makes it recede. Now the wall up here is going to be warmer. In other words, these mixtures have more blue, these mixtures have more of my orange and yellows in them. And that way, that makes it come forward. I just do several different, you can see I'm doing some darker tones in there, I'm doing some lighter tones. I'm going to have a bougainvillea draping over this wall, so I'm putting color up here, and then I will bring the bougainvillea down over that. It'll come up on the top of the surface of that edge of that canvas. Now this is going to be a little darker. This windowsill is going to be tile, and sauteil tile, and it's going to be a little bit darker under there. This whole wall is in shadow. Our sun is coming from the upper right, and so this portion of the painting will receive light. This part is in shadow. So we want the light to be hitting on the dog, the subject of the painting. His name is Luca, L-O-O-K-A. And Jenna asked me, this Luca has passed on, he's gone to puppy heaven, and she just wanted to remember him and have me do a painting of him. So I've done several pieces for her, and you've probably seen me do some of them. She's had a menagerie of different pets over the years, and we've included most of them in the different paintings. And she always comes up with some absolutely wonderful ideas, so she's a lot of fun to do her paintings. I always have fun doing paintings, but my collectors are so inventive, and many times they come up with ideas, really cool things that I never even think about. So that's one of the fun things that I really enjoy about commissions. So you can just see I'm covering the canvas. I'm not real careful about it. I just want to quickly get it covered with different shades of my Adobe color. Now I'm going to have sunflowers here. I'm coming down a little further because then some of the flowers will pop up over the stone wall. Now this I want to get a little bit darker back into this corner. But you can see how that blue makes this part of the wall come back. Now this part of the wall is going to be in light. So this mixture, same mixture, it's my mud plus some cadmium yellow medium plus some cadmium orange and white. If you cannot buy, if you can't get cadmium orange, don't get the cadmium orange hue, because it really has a tendency to go pink. But you can mix cadmium orange by mixing 1 part of cadmium red light and 2 parts of cadmium yellow medium. And that gives you a really beautiful cadmium orange. A lot of times you just, I'm not sure why, but it's just hard to get cadmium orange. And so I mix it a lot of times. Now my sunflowers are going to cast shadows on this wall. So that's what I'm doing right here. And now I want my light. The bougainvillea is going to cast shadows along this wall. Let me make this a little bit more even here. Again, I'm using different shades in there. Okay, now my bougainvillea is going to cast some shadows on this wall. Over the door, the stones kind of make an arch over the top of the door. So I come back in with a little lighter shade. Most of this will be covered with wisteria, but I want to just do a little bit. And then here, come back in here with a darker. To make this is called the jamb, the door, the side of that wall where the door recedes back in. That's going to be darker because the sun's not hitting it. Again, this seam is not real smooth because that stone is uneven. And then I make the closer to the door a little bit bluer, so this, again, just like the wall, I want this to recede. We work carefully around Luca's ears. That dark will accentuate the light hitting his coat. And he's just been sketched in with my mixture of mud, an oil wash of my mud, plus liquid. And liquid is a vegetable-based medium that I use mainly for washes. I use it to draw in my initial sketch, liquid plus mud, and then I allow that to dry overnight, and then if I need to, then I can just pull up color. That sketch is dry, and then I can come back in if I get paint on an area where I mess up over my sketch. I can just go back and pull that paint off of the sketch. Now I'm taking a mixture of, this is just my mud plus just a tiny bit of liquid in it. And I want to go in then and just give the impression of the crevices between the stones. I'm not going to outline each and every individual stone because I don't want it to look, I just don't want it to look so outliney. But I indicate where these stones are. These come out a little bit right here, so they'll be a little darker under them. And I kind of just follow the darks and lights in my initial paint up there. Kind of just gives me a pattern to follow. But again, I do this very impressionistically. I'll come back, I didn't mean to get over that. That little lantern, the holder for the lantern, the bracket. But you can just see, I do this very quickly and loosely. I'm not real careful about this because I want that stone to look very, very rough. This is an old building. Now hollyhocks are going to be coming up over this. Now I come around the edge and I just come onto the side of that canvas. Again, this is just done very, very quickly, very impressionistically. I just let my brush dance across the canvas because this is going to be covered a lot with plants. The hollyhocks will be coming up over that. If I need to accentuate any of the areas, I can always come back and do that. These stones are rough and cracks in there. And the stones won't line up in this corner, so they'll be at different levels. And now this is in perspective, so these. And then over the window, we're also going to have a little arch of stones. And these will be probably covered over by the bougainvilleas. Go back to my bigger brush. I try to get too detailed if I start working with a smaller brush, so I want to. Again, my sunflowers are going to come up here, so I'm not going to do a bunch down there. And this is going to be a vine from that bougainvillea, one of the little limbs coming down. In fact, what I do to do that is I just take again that mud mixture, the mud plus just a little bit of liquid, and I can bring that trunk or limb of the vine, then just paint it right over that wall color, around the edge of my canvas. And let's see. I'm going to wait to put any more until I get all my bougainvilleas in there, and then I can decide if I want to put more of the limbs or trunks showing. Now, just real quickly, I do these stones in the light. The top edge of those stones, it needs to have a little more white in it. The tops of those stones that are catching the sunlight are going to be highlighted, so I just add a little white to that mixture, and this can be doesn't have to be even because these stones are rough. But I just want to highlight where the sun's hitting the edges of those stones. And there's a shadow there, so I don't want to get all the way there. Here's a bougainvillea shadow, so I do a little bit of highlight on either side of it. I don't highlight then in where the shadow comes across there. Let's put a stone right here. And see, I didn't even have a dark line there, but by putting the highlight there, that makes that feel like a stone is there. Then on the other side of the doorway, I'll do the same thing where the light's hitting the tops of our stones here. There we go. I appreciate you watching my YouTube videos. Please share them with other artists. Feel free to. Also visit my blog where I show the complete step-by-step process as I paint. The link for my blog is in the description below. It's also on the final frame of the video. And again, I thank you very, very much, and just have a wonderful, wonderful day.